As many of you may know, I'm a huge fan of the Musou or Warriors games from Koei Tecmo. I've been playing them religiously since Dynasty Warriors 2 on the PS2 in the year 2000. I've played the mainline stuff, the Samurai Warriors stuff, and pretty much all of the spin-offs except for a small few. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is yet another one of these spin-offs and follows the characters from the standard Fire Emblem game released in 2019, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. This is just the demo, but I'll be honest with you from the start. I did not like or enjoy my time with this demo, and it's made me reconsider my purchase of the full game. I'm absolutely not going to call this a bad game or a bad demo though. It's clearly very well put together, but for me, it focuses on everything except what I wanted. I actually think it looks good, plays well, and has a massive amount of content, which are all positive points. It's just that my favourite parts of the game, the hack and slash Musou action, takes a back seat. So what is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes and what can you do in this demo? Well, it's a Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors style hack and slash game that, in my opinion, takes the focus away from the actual moment-to-moment fighting and instead leans on visual novel elements, role-playing and tactical gameplay. I want to make it clear that this is not inherently a bad thing. In fact, it's probably one of the most accomplished Warriors-style games ever created. The issue is that it's just not what I was looking for in a Warriors game and therefore wasn't what I was personally hoping for. 3 Hopes is absolutely set in the same universe as the 3 Houses game, but everything occurs in a different timeline, so you could look at it as non-canonical. You play as a new character named Shez, and you can choose to be male or female at the start of the game. After being utterly defeated in battle, Shez joins a military academy and you're able to select which class you'd like to be a part of. Selecting different classes does actually lead to different story beats, playable characters, missions, and events, so you could in theory play the full game 3 times through at least. The only reason that Shez even survives is due to the actions of a guardian angel type character named Arvel, who's seemingly been watching over Shez for a long time. The story continues on from there, but as usual I won't be spoiling it. Gameplay wise, you do get some interesting options at the start of your adventure. You can change the difficulty level, speed up tactical choices in gameplay, and even turn on permadeath for your allies, which is interesting to say the least. The battles consist of the hack and slash combat that the Warriors titles are known for, but this time there's also a lot of tactical layers and character management to deal with. Some other Warriors games do have these kinds of systems as well, but they are turned up to 11 here and are much more prevalent. As I've mentioned, my favourite part of the Warriors series is the mindless power fantasy combat, and while this game does have that, it's very much the least important part of it. In much the same way that Persona 5 Strikers is a Persona game with a bit of Warriors combat, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is a Fire Emblem game with a bit of Warriors combat. It leans heavily into what people love about the Fire Emblem series, and for good reason. It's got a lot of extended visual novel style sections where characters talk and get to know each other, as well as character management and a seemingly endless amount of menus within menus. Even during the battles, you'll often have to stop fighting to open up a menu or engage with some sort of tactical gameplay to get the advantage. It's actually integrated really well into the Warriors framework, but this is my issue with it. If I wanted to play a Fire Emblem game, I would just play the standard Fire Emblem 3 Houses game. I basically wanted a standard Warriors game with a little bit of Fire Emblem sprinkled in, not the other way around. For me, the game, despite being very good, just did not click with me, and for that reason, I'm going to pass on the full release. Luckily though, the demo is still around, and your progress will carry over into the main game if you end up enjoying it and ultimately purchasing the full game. Visually, I think the game looks pretty good considering it's exclusive to the Switch. The frame rate does hold up at 30 FPS for the majority of the time, but it absolutely does take a hit here and there, especially when there's a lot going on. It's a shame we couldn't get this on PS5, Series X or PC so it could just, run at 60 FPS with a better resolution. That said, Fire Emblem is a Nintendo property, so it probably wasn't ever going to happen anyway. The character models do seem pretty good and the environments do have a decent amount of details in them, although a lot of those little details are very low res. It looks no worse than any other Warriors game on the Switch, except perhaps for Dynasty Warriors 9, which looks absolutely abysmal on the Switch. In fact, 3 Hopes may even look a little better than some of the others in certain places, so that is a nice bonus. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on my personal enjoyment of the demo again. In my mind, it's a very simple thing. The game just has far too much going on at any one time for me to enjoy it. I just want to pick a character and engage with the Musou combat. I mean, sure, a tiny bit of character management in between stages is absolutely fine by me. I do actually like doing that, but in general, I just want to tear through thousands of enemies, and that's about it. Again, this is absolutely more of a Fire Emblem game than a Warriors game, and that's fine. Persona 5 Strikers was the same thing. The thing with that though is that I liked Strikers, and I think the difference there is that I loved and knew the characters already. You know, I was ready for another Persona game, it just so happened to have Warriors combat. In the case of Fire Emblem though, I know nothing about the world, the characters, or, well, anything really, so it all just feels like too much. There's just so much to understand and learn and get to grips with when all I want to do is just engage with the Musou combat, if you see what I mean. Once again, I'm absolutely not saying it's bad. It's far from bad. In fact, I think it's probably got the most to offer of any Warriors game in recent memory, and it's of such a high quality. The problem with that though is that I was hoping for a standard Warriors game. But once again, a lengthy demo is available for the game on the Nintendo eShop right now, and of course a physical copy is widely available. In my opinion, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is a great Fire Emblem game, but not a great Warriors game. If, like me, you're looking for that latest Musou fix, I would urge you to try the demo first and see if you have the same issues that I did. I just felt like there's too much going on in between the bits that I find enjoyable, and it started to lose me pretty quickly. If on the other hand though, you've been waiting for a Warriors game that does a lot more than just mindless combat, this might actually be for you. Ultimately, I was surprised to find that this game simply wasn't for me. I'm glad I tried the demo because it saved me a good chunk of cash, but for what it's worth, I did enjoy the parts where the game just let me fight. Some of the menus and the talking sections are absolutely fine, great even, but there's just so much of it that dragged me down, and in the end, it lost me. If you enjoy the video, I really hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you like what I do and want to help support the channel, please check out the first link in the video description down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.